The forest was quiet that night. Too quiet. Jinwoo sat on the porch of his research station, holding a cup of cold coffee he'd forgotten to drink. He did that a lot these days, forgetting things, small things, the kind of things that didn't matter when you lived alone on the edge of nowhere. 5 years. 5 years since he'd chosen this isolation. 5 years since the transport accident that took his wife and daughter. 5 years of studying alien plants and animals instead of facing the ghosts that waited for him back in the colonies. The sky exploded. Jinwoo dropped his cup. It shattered on the wooden deck, but he didn't notice. Above the tree line, fire streaked across the darkness. Not a meteor. The trajectory was wrong. The way it tried to correct course, pulling up before gravity won. That was a ship. Someone was dying up there. He should call it in. Let Colonial Rescue handle it. That's what a normal person would do. Instead, Jinwoo grabbed his medical kit and emergency beacon. His legs carried him into the forest before his mind caught up. Maybe some part of him, the part that used to be a father, needed to try. Needed to save someone. The crash site wasn't hard to find. Trees lay broken like matchsticks. The smell of burned metal and something sweet, almost like flowers, filled the air. Jinwoo's flashlight cut through the smoke. The ship was small, no bigger than a personal transport. The hull was torn open, revealing technology he didn't recognize. Strange symbols glowed faintly along the intact sections. "Hello?" His voice felt too loud. "Is anyone alive?" Nothing. Just the hiss of cooling metal and small fires eating at the wreckage. Jinwoo circled the crash site, his boots crunching on debris. That's when he heard it. A sound like wind chimes, but wrong. Musical notes that didn't belong to any human instrument. He found them huddled in what must have been an escape pod. 3 small figures pressed together in the corner, their bodies trembling. They weren't human. Their skin caught the flashlight beam and scattered it into rainbow patterns. Large eyes, easily twice the size of human eyes, blinked at him. Delicate crystalline structures ran along their backs, pulsing with a dim inner light. Children. They were children. The oldest one, a girl maybe 8 years old in human terms, stepped in front of the smaller 2, protecting them. Her skin shifted from blue to red, and Jinwoo's research mind cataloged that as fear turning to aggression. She made that chime sound again, higher pitched. A warning. "It's okay." Jinwoo set down his medical kit slowly. "I'm not going to hurt you." The girl tilted her head. Then she did something that made Jinwoo's heart stop. She reached out and touched his hand. Images flooded his mind. Not words, but pure memory and emotion. A ship under attack. Weapons fire tearing through shields. A tall figure, female, moving with impossible grace as she fought. Her face twisted in determination and grief. Hands pushing the children into the pod. A voice alien but somehow understood. "Run, find safety. I love you." The pod launching. The ship exploding behind them. 3 children alone in the dark, falling toward an unknown world. Jinwoo pulled his hand back, gasping. The girls' eyes were wet. Could they cry? Apparently yes. "Father?" The word came out broken in standard language that she clearly barely knew. She pointed at herself, then her siblings, then at Jinwoo. "Father gone. You... father?" Something cracked inside Jinwoo's chest. The wall he'd built for 5 years developed a fracture. He looked at the 3 small faces watching him. "Where are your parents?" The girl touched his hand again. This time he saw the tall figure holding off dozens of enemies. Saw her take hit after hit but refusing to fall. Saw the children's father dying, his body going still. Saw their mother screaming at them to go, to survive before the transmission cut off. "Oh God." Jinwoo knelt down to their level. "I'm so sorry." The middle child, a boy, reached out and touched Jinwoo's face. His small hand was warm, warmer than human body temperature should be. The boy's skin was turning pale, a sickly gray color spreading from his fingertips. "You're cold." Jinwoo started pulling emergency thermal blankets from his kit. "Your biology needs heat, doesn't it?" He wrapped all 3 children in the blankets, but it wasn't enough. The youngest, another girl, was shaking violently. Her crystalline spine structures were barely glowing at all. Jinwoo made a decision. He scooped up the smallest child. She weighed almost nothing. "Come on, my station is warm. I have food, medicine. Come with me." The oldest girl hesitated. Behind her, Jinwoo could see the wreckage. He could see blast patterns that suggested military weapons. Someone had shot them down. "Someone might come looking." "I know you don't trust me," Jinwoo said. "But your siblings need heat. Now, please." The girl looked at her brother, then at the little one in Jinwoo's arms. She made a decision too. She nodded and took her brother's hand. The walk back to the station took 20 minutes. 20 minutes of listening to the children's breathing get more and more labored. 20 minutes of the youngest one going limp in his arms. 20 minutes of Jinwoo whispering, "Stay with me. Just a little further. Stay with me." Words he'd screamed at a transport ship once 5 years ago. Words that hadn't worked then. Please let them work now. His station's door opened with a hiss. The warmth hit them immediately. Jinwoo carried the children inside and cranked the environmental controls to maximum. 28 degrees Celsius, 32. The system protested but complied. He laid the youngest on his medical scanner. The device couldn't make sense of her physiology. Wrong number of organs, different cellular structure, but it confirmed she was alive. Barely. The oldest girl pushed past him and lay down next to her sister. The boy joined them. They pressed together, their crystalline structures touching. Light began to flow between them, and the youngest one's breathing steadied. "Okay," Jinwoo said to himself. "Okay, they're alive. Now what?" The oldest girl sat up. Her skin had returned to a healthier blue-green color. She pointed at herself. "Hana," she pointed at the boy. "Minho," she pointed at the youngest. "Yuna." Then she pointed at Jinwoo, her head tilted in question. "Jinwoo," he said. "My name is Jinwoo." "Jinwoo." Hana tried the sounds. "Father Jinwoo?" He should correct her. Explain that he wasn't their father. That he was just a researcher who happened to find them. That their real father was gone and their mother was probably dead too. But looking at 3 small faces that had lost everything, faces that looked at him with desperate hope, Jinwoo couldn't say it. "Yeah," he whispered. "I'll be your father. For now." Yuna, the youngest, made a happy chime sound and reached for him. Jinwoo sat down on the floor and she crawled into his lap. Her body heat was incredible, almost uncomfortably warm. She pressed her face against his chest and made a sound like a purr. Minho joined them, then Hana, 3 alien children who smelled like flowers and radiated heat like small furnaces. 3 children who had survived their world ending. 3 children who had just made Jinwoo feel something he thought he'd never feel again. Worth. Outside, the forest returned to its normal sounds. Inside, Jinwoo held 3 strangers and tried not to think about the fact that someone had tried to kill them. Tried not to think about the weapons fire he'd seen in Hana's memories. Tried not to think about what would happen if whoever shot them down came looking. For tonight, they were safe. For tonight, they were warm and alive. Tomorrow's problems could wait until tomorrow. Yuna made another purring sound. "Appa," she murmured in her sleep. A Korean word. How did she know Korean? Then Jinwoo realized. She was reading his memories too. Learning his language. His culture. Everything he was. "Appa," she said again. "Father?" "Yes," Jinwoo whispered, his throat tight. "I'm here. Appa's here." And for the first time in 5 years, Jinwoo didn't feel alone. 3 weeks changed everything. Jinwoo's research station had transformed from a lonely outpost into something that felt almost like a home. The temperature stayed locked at 31 degrees Celsius now. He'd stopped wearing shirts after the first week. Too hot. But the children thrived in the warmth. "Appa, watch!" Yuna stood on a chair in the kitchen area, her small hands mixing something in a bowl. Her crystalline spine glowed bright green. The color Jinwoo had learned meant excitement. "I make the noodles like you showed." "Not too much spice," Jinwoo warned, moving to spot her in case she fell. "Remember what happened last time?" Minho laughed from the corner where he was elbow deep in Jinwoo's broken atmospheric processor. The boy had a gift for technology that bordered on supernatural. Yuna cried for an hour. "Did not." Yuna's spine flashed red. "Did too. You said your mouth was on fire." "Was." Yuna grinned, showing small pointed teeth. "But I liked it. Fire is good." Jinwoo shook his head, smiling. The children had taken to human food with enthusiasm, especially anything spicy. It seemed to invigorate them, making their spines glow brighter for hours afterward. He'd run out of his supply of chili paste in the first week, and had to get creative with local plants. "Hana, come eat," Jinwoo called. The oldest girl sat by the window as she often did, watching, always watching the sky. Her skin was a muted gray-blue, the color of worry. She'd been having nightmares. They all had. But Hana's were different, more detailed, more violent. "Hana," Jinwoo said again, softer this time. She turned. tried to smile. Coming, Appa. The words still made his heart hurt. In a good way, in a terrifying way, they ate together, Yuna chattering about everything and nothing, Minho explaining in his patient way how he'd figured out the processor's cooling system, Hana picking at her food, lost in thoughts she wouldn't share. After dinner, after cleaning up, after Yuna had convinced him to read a story for the third time, Jinwoo finally got all three children settled in their sleeping area. He'd rigged up special warming panels that mimicked sunlight. The children slept in a pile, always touching, their spines creating a soft network of light. Jinwoo watched them from the doorway. This shouldn't have happened. He shouldn't have gotten attached. These weren't his children. Their real parents were dead or dying somewhere in the galaxy. Someone would eventually come looking for them. The colonial authorities would ask questions. He should have reported the crash immediately, but every day he didn't, the lie grew bigger, and every day he loved them more. Cannot sleep? Hana's voice was quiet. Her eyes reflected the dim light. Just thinking, Jinwoo said. Go back to sleep. Instead, Hana carefully extracted herself from her siblings and padded over to him. At 8 years old, she already understood too much. Had seen too much.
You worry, she said.
Not a question. She could read his emotions, probably. The telepathic connection worked both ways when they touched, but Hana seemed to pick up feelings even without contact. I worry about keeping you safe, Jinwoo admitted. From the Krillix. It was the first time she'd named them. The enemy. The ones who destroyed her world. Tell me about them, Jinwoo said. Hana's spine dimmed. She looked small and fragile in the doorway. Then she took his hand. The memories came slowly this time. Deliberate. Her world. Beautiful and peaceful. Cities that grew more than they were built. Her people. The Shinra, who communicated through telepathy and song. A culture thousands of years old. Focused on art and science and understanding. Then the Krillix came. Insect-like creatures in armor. They didn't ask. Didn't negotiate. They just took. They discovered that Shinra spines could power their weapons, that the crystalline structures could store energy in ways their technology couldn't match. So they harvested. They killed. They turned a peaceful species into a resource. Hana showed him her father, a gentle teacher who sang to the stars. Showed him the day her father stopped singing and picked up a weapon for the first time. Showed him dying to buy time for refugees to escape. Then she showed him her mother, Suyin. Jinwoo gasped. The woman in Hana's memories was terrifying and beautiful, tall and powerful, moving through enemies like water through stone. She fought with a weapon that seemed to bend reality itself. Everywhere she struck, Krillix ships fell from the sky. Starcrusher, Hana whispered. Ancient weapon. Very old, very dangerous. Mother is last warrior of the old ways. She protect everyone. Is she alive? Jinwoo asked. I feel her sometimes, Hana said. Far away, angry, sad, fighting, always fighting. Her spine pulsed with a faint light. She think we dead? She fight because she have nothing else. I'm sorry, Jinwoo said, because what else could he say? You saved us, Hana said simply. You are good, father. Different from my father, but good. Thunder crashed outside. Both of them jumped. A storm was rolling in, the kind that made the whole station shake. Hana's spine flashed to pale yellow, fear. It's just weather, Jinwoo assured her. You're safe here. But Hana wasn't listening. Her eyes were distant. Ships, she whispered. I hear ships. What? How can you? Lightning lit up the sky. For just a moment, Jinwoo saw them. Dark shapes against the clouds. 3 ships, maybe 4, running without lights. Military grade. His blood went cold. Wake your siblings, Jinwoo said. Quietly. Get to the underground lab. The one I showed you. Remember? Hana nodded and ran. Jinwoo moved fast. He pulled up the station's external sensors. Sure enough, 3 ships were landing a kilometer away. They'd been scanning the area, looking for something, looking for the children. He activated the emergency protocols, locked down the station, erased the obvious signs that children lived here. The toys went into hidden compartments. The warming panels dimmed. The temperature started to drop back to normal human levels. Appa? Yuna appeared, rubbing her eyes. Minho held her hand, both of them looking scared. It's okay, Jinwoo lied. Just a precaution. Go with Hana, stay quiet no matter what you hear. Can you do that? We can fight, Minho said. His spine was bright red. Anger. No, Jinwoo said firmly. Your children, you hide. I'll handle this. But Minho, Jinwoo knelt down. I need you to protect your sisters. That's your job. Keep them calm. Keep them quiet. Can you do that for me? Minho's spine flickered between red and blue. Finally, he nodded. Yes, Appa. Hana ushered them toward the hidden door. Before she disappeared, she touched Jinwoo's hand one more time. Shared a feeling. Not words, just pure emotion, love, trust, fear. Come back, she said. I will, Jinwoo promised. The door closed. The seal was invisible once locked. Unless you knew exactly where to look, you'd never find it. Jinwoo took a breath. Changed his shirt to something less sweaty. Messed up his research notes to look like he'd been working. Made himself a cup of coffee. Then he waited. They came 15 minutes later. Heavy footsteps on his porch. A harsh banging on the door. Jinwoo opened it, trying to look annoyed instead of terrified. The Krillix were worse in person than in Hana's memories. Insect features covered by armor plates. Multiple eyes that tracked movement independently. Mandibles that clicked when they breathed. 3 soldiers and 1 officer. Human, the officer said. His standard was heavily accented. I am Commander Vexith. We investigate crash site. You see anything? The ship that came down 3 weeks ago. Jinwoo kept his voice steady. Yeah, I salvaged some parts. Why, is that illegal? Survivors, Vexith pressed. You find survivors? From that wreck, no way. The whole thing was toast. I pulled some interesting tech, but no bodies. Check my salvage logs if you want. Vexith's eyes narrowed. All 6 of them. We scan energy signatures. Your station runs hot. Very hot, why? Broken environmental controls, Jinwoo said, pointing to the corner where Minho had actually fixed them. Been meaning to get a tech out here. Hard to get service this far from the colonies. It was a gamble. If they checked too closely, if they brought in real scanners, they'd find the children. But Jinwoo was betting on their arrogance. Humans were considered primitive. Not worth thorough investigation. Vexith clicked his mandibles. We search. You permit. It wasn't a question. Sure, Jinwoo said, stepping aside. Just don't mess up my research. The soldiers tore through the station. They were thorough. Checking closets, scanning walls. One of them stood right over the hidden door and Jinwoo's heart stopped. Underground, he knew, 3 children were holding their breath. The soldier moved on. After 20 minutes of searching, Vexith seemed satisfied. You see refugee Shinra, you report. Bounty is significant. Understand? Sure, Jinwoo said. What's a Shinra anyway? Extinct species, Vexith said with something that might have been satisfaction. Soon completely extinct. We make sure. They left. Jinwoo watched their ships lift off and disappear into the storm. Only then did he let himself shake. He opened the hidden door. 3 pairs of huge eyes looked up at him. Yuna had tears streaming down her face, but she'd stayed silent. Minho's spine was still red with suppressed rage. Hana just looked tired. They gone? She asked. They're gone, Jinwoo confirmed. Yuna launched herself at him. I was so scared. But I stayed quiet like you said. You did perfect, Jinwoo said, holding her. Minho and Hana joined the hug. They want to kill us, Minho said quietly. I won't let them, Jinwoo promised. I won't let anyone hurt you. Taeyong arrived 4 days later in a ship that looked like it should have fallen apart years ago, but somehow kept flying. That was Taeyong's specialty. Things that shouldn't work but did anyway. You look terrible, Taeyong said, stepping off the ramp. He was shorter than Jinwoo. Stockier, with scars on his hands from a life spent fixing things and fighting when fixing didn't work. Thanks for coming, Jinwoo said. You said it was urgent. You never say anything is urgent. Taeyong looked around the research station. Where's the emergency? 3 small heads peeked around the doorway. 6 huge eyes stared at the stranger. Taeyong froze. Jinwoo, why are there alien children in your house? Long story. I have time. Over the next hour, Jinwoo explained everything. The crash. The Krillix. The search. His plan to get the children to safety. Taeyong listened without interrupting, which was unusual for him. His eyes kept drifting to where the children sat, watching him with obvious curiosity. So you want me to smuggle 3 alien kids off-world? Taeyong said finally. 3 alien kids that a genocidal empire is actively hunting. 3 alien kids that have no papers, no identities, no legal anything. Yes. Do you know what the Krillix do to smugglers they catch? I can guess. Taeyong was quiet for a long moment. Then he sighed. We leave tomorrow night. I need to modify the ship's compartments, and we need to get you proper documents. Can't have you traveling as a random researcher with 3 alien kids. I'm coming with them, Jinwoo asked. Of course you're coming with them. You think I'm going to babysit 3 telepathic children by myself? Taeyong shook his head. Besides, they clearly love you. Separating you would be cruel. Yuna chose that moment to walk over. She looked up at Taeyong with her huge eyes. You help Appa? Yeah, kid. I help Appa. She smiled and hugged his leg. Taeyong looked down at her, completely at a loss. Jinwoo? It's touching me. She likes you. How can you tell? If she didn't like you, her spine would be red. See? It's green. That's happy. Yuna pulled back and made her chiming sound. Taeyong jumped. What was that? That's how they communicate. It's like singing. Jinwoo found himself smiling despite everything. You should hear all 3 of them together. It's beautiful. Hana and Minho approached more cautiously. Hana studied Taeyong like she was reading a book. Finally, she nodded. He good, heart is good. Scared, but good. I'm not scared, Taeyong protested. You are, Hana said matter-of-factly. But you come anyway. That is brave. Minho reached out and touched Taeyong's hand. The smuggler flinched but didn't pull away. Oh, Minho said, his eyes going distant. You know ships. You know how they work. All of them. Can you show me? Show you what? How your ship works. I want to see. And that's how Taeyong ended up giving a ship tour to 3 alien children while Jinwoo packed their few belongings. It would have been funny under different circumstances. Watching a hardened smuggler explain fusion cores to an 8-year-old who probably understood them better than he did. They spent the day preparing. Taeyong modified hidden compartments in his ship, adding warming elements and air circulation. Jinwoo created false documents, using his academic credentials to claim the children as research subjects being transferred to a core world facility. It wouldn't hold up under serious scrutiny. But it might be enough. As evening fell, Jinwoo felt the wrongness before he saw it. The children felt it too. All 3 of them stopped what they were doing. Their spines lit up in unison, bright white, alarmed. What? Taeyong asked. What's wrong? Ship, Hana whispered. Many ships. Coming fast. I don't see anything on sensors, Taeyong said, checking his datapad. They're running dark, Jinwoo realized. Like before. Hana, how can you sense them? Feel the weight, Hana said. They pushed space. Make it heavy. Jinwoo had no idea what that meant, but he didn't have time to ask. Taeyong, can we launch? Not without them seeing us. We'd be dead before we cleared the atmosphere. Taeyong was already moving, sealing the ship's ramp. We need to hide, but there was nowhere to hide. The research station was isolated but visible from orbit. Taeyong's ship was sitting right outside. They might as well have painted a target on the roof. Underground lab, Jinwoo said. Everyone now, they ran. Jinwoo grabbed the emergency supplies, Taeyong grabbed weapons he shouldn't have had, and the children ran ahead. They made it to the hidden door just as the first ship touched down. This time it wasn't a patrol. This time they meant business. Through the station's external cameras, Jinwoo watched a dozen Kryllic soldiers deploy. They had heavy weapons, scanning equipment, and leading them was Commander Vexith. He knows, Hana said quietly. Someone told him we are here. How could they know? Taeyong demanded. Doesn't matter, Jinwoo said. What matters is we're trapped. The hidden door was good, but it wasn't perfect. If the Kryllics did a deep scan of the station, they'd find the hollow space. Find the children. Find all of them. Vexith's voice came through the station speakers. He'd hacked the comm system. Human Jinwoo. We know you harbor refugees. Surrender them and you receive bounty. Resist and you become accomplice to genocide. Genocide? Taeyong looked at Jinwoo. What's he talking about? Hana touched the wall, shared her memories with both men at once. They saw her world burning, saw the Kryllics harvesting her people, saw children younger than Yuna torn apart for the crystalline structures in their spines. Taeyong turned white. Oh God, they want to make us extinct, Minho said calmly. Too calmly for a child. They want our spines for weapons. We are last children they know about. If we die, Shinra children die forever. Above them they heard boots. Soldiers searching the station. Getting closer. I have an idea, Yuna said suddenly. Her spine was glowing bright blue. Determined. We show them. Show them what? Jinwoo asked. What we can do together. Before anyone could stop her, Yuna reached out and took her siblings' hands. The three children closed their eyes. Their spines began to glow brighter, pulsing in perfect synchronization. Jinwoo felt it first. A pressure in his mind, not invasive, not forcing, asking permission. He gave it. Suddenly he could see through the children's senses, could feel what they felt. The world exploded into new dimensions. He sensed the soldiers above not by sight, but by the weight of their thoughts. Could feel Taeyong's fear and determination like a warm fire beside him, and he could feel the children's power. We are not helpless, Hana said, but her voice was in his head now. In Taeyong's head. We are young, but we are Shinra. We remember. The lights in the underground lab began to flicker, then pulse, matching the rhythm of the children's spines. Above them something happened. Every electronic device in the station shut down. Not broken, just sleeping. The soldiers' weapons went dark. Their scanners stopped. Even their armor's power systems failed. Jinwoo felt the children's strain. They were pushing their abilities to the limit. 3 kids trying to hold back trained soldiers. It wouldn't last. We need to run, Taeyong said. While they're confused. While we have a chance, run where? Jinwoo demanded. There are ships outside. Soldiers everywhere. That's when they felt it. All of them. Even Taeyong, who wasn't connected to the children telepathically, felt it. A presence. Vast and terrible and coming closer. The children gasped as one. Their spines flared so bright that Jinwoo had to close his eyes. When Hana spoke, her voice was filled with impossible hope and terror. Mother, she whispered. Mother is here. Outside, the sky tore open. Jinwoo pulled up the external cameras on his backup system. What he saw made no sense. Space itself seemed to fold. Reality bent around a single point, and from that impossible wound stepped a ship. It was beautiful. Organic curves that seemed grown rather than built. Crystalline structures along its hull that matched the children's spines, and it moved with purpose, dropping from orbit to atmosphere in seconds. The Krillic ships tried to respond, tried to shoot it down. They failed. The organic ship moved like a living thing, impossibly fast. Weapons fire passed through empty space where it had been a heartbeat before, and then it struck back. Jinwoo watched a Krillic's warship simply stop existing. No explosion, no debris. It was there, and then it wasn't. Reality had rejected it. What kind of weapon is that? Taeyong breathed. Starcrusher, Hana said. She was crying. Mother has the Starcrusher. The organic ship landed between the research station and the Krillic's forces. A ramp extended, and she stepped out. Suyin was taller than Jinwoo had imagined from the memories. 7 feet of controlled rage. Her skin flowed through colors he had no names for. The crystalline structures on her spine rose like a crown, each one pulsing with barely contained power, and in her hands, she held the Starcrusher. It looked like a staff, but Jinwoo's mind couldn't fully process it. The weapon seemed to exist in more dimensions than 3. Where it pointed, space trembled. Suyin looked at the Krillic soldiers, spoke in a voice that carried despite the distance. You hunt my children. Vexith stepped forward, brave or stupid. Surrender, Shinra. Your species is extinct. These children are property of the Krillic's dominion. Property, Suyin repeated. The Starcrusher pulsed. You made my children property. You killed my mate. You destroyed my world. We did what was necessary for the Dominion's expansion. Then I do what is necessary for my children. Suyin moved. The escape didn't go as planned. Taeyong's ship shook violently as they cleared the atmosphere. Alarm screamed. The hull groaned under stress it wasn't designed to handle. Behind them, 3 Krillic's fighters were in pursuit and they were gaining. I thought you said this ship was fast. Jinwoo shouted over the noise. It is fast! Taeyong yanked the controls. They're just faster. Weapons fire streaked past the viewport. One blast hit their port engine. The ship lurched sideways. In the passenger area, the children huddled together, their spines flashing white with fear. Suyin stood over them, the Starcrusher in her hands. Her spine pulsed with dark red. Rage barely controlled. I can stop them, she said. No. Jinwoo grabbed her arm. If you use that weapon, every ship in the sector will know we're here. We need to be ghosts, not targets. My children are in danger. Your children will be in more danger if half the Krillic's fleet shows up. Jinwoo pointed at the viewport. We're almost to the jump point. Just a little further. Another blast rocked the ship. This time something critical broke. The lights flickered. The engines whined at a pitch that meant nothing good. Jump drive is offline, Tai Yong reported. We're dead in space. The Krillix fighters closed in. Jinwoo could see them clearly now. Sleek and deadly, their weapons charging for the killing blow. Suyen's eyes met his. In them he saw an apology. She'd tried his way. Now she'd do it hers. She raised the Starcrusher. Mama, wait. Hana grabbed her mother's hand. Let us help. Before Suyen could respond, all three children joined hands. Their spines lit up like stars. The light spread, connecting to their mother's spine. Then to the Starcrusher itself. The weapon changed. The dark purple energy that usually surrounded it shifted to include ribbons of green, blue, and white. The children's colors. The children's power. What are you doing? Suyen breathed. We are Shinra, Hana said. We are family. We are together, Suyen understood. She pointed the Starcrusher at the nearest Krillix fighter, but instead of destroying it, she did something more subtle. The space around the fighter twisted, compressed. The ship didn't explode. It just stopped. Frozen in a bubble of altered time. She did the same to the second fighter, then the third. 3 enemy ships hung motionless in space, not destroyed. Just paused. The light faded from the children. They collapsed, exhausted. Yuna was unconscious before she hit the floor. Minyo and Hana weren't far behind. Suyen caught them with telekinetic power, laying them gently on the padded benches. Then she turned to the humans. They will sleep for hours, maybe days. They are not ready for such power. But we're alive, Taeyong said, and those fighters are neutralized. How long will they stay frozen? Long enough, Suyen said. Fix your ship, smuggler. We need to leave. While Taeyong worked on repairs, Jinwoo tended to the children. Their bodies were cooler than normal. Their spines barely glowed. He wrapped them in thermal blankets and monitored their vital signs with equipment that could barely read their biology. Suyen watched from the doorway. You care for them well. I do my best, Jinwoo said. They love you. I saw it in their memories. In yours. She was quiet for a moment. I thought them dead. For 3 months I believed my children were ash and dust. I'm sorry, Jinwoo said. For your mate. For your world. For everything you've lost. My mate was a gentle soul. He sang to the stars and taught children mathematics. Suyen's spine flickered through colors of grief. He died buying time for refugees to escape. Died protecting children who were not even his own. He sounds like a good father. He was. Suyen looked at Jinwoo. You remind me of him. Not in appearance, in spirit. He also would have saved 3 strange children without thinking of the cost. Jinwoo didn't know what to say to that. I am not gentle, Suyen continued. I am what my people created when they needed warriors. Old traditions. Old powers. I was awakened to fight, and fight I did. She looked at the Starcrusher. This weapon has ended solar systems. I have used it to collapse stars, to tear holes in reality, to make my enemies simply cease existing. I am very good at destruction. But you didn't destroy those fighters, Jinwoo pointed out. You could have, but you froze them instead. Because my children were helping. They do not know destruction yet. They know only creation, joy, wonder. Suyen's spine pulsed blue, sadness. I do not want them to become like me. You're their mother. You're exactly who they need, am I? Suyen turned to face him fully. I am a weapon, Jinwoo. A weapon that has become a person. But I do not know how to be a mother without also being a warrior, how to keep them safe without teaching them violence, how to give them childhood when childhood was stolen from our entire species. Jinwoo thought of his own daughter, of bedtime stories and scraped knees and laughter that had filled his home once. You do your best. You love them. You protect them, and you try not to let your fear control you. I failed at that last part tonight. You were scared. That's allowed. Warriors are not scared. Mothers are, Jinwoo said. And you're both. That's not weakness. That's strength, Suyen was quiet. Then she did something unexpected. She laughed. It was a rusty sound, like she hadn't used it in a long time. You are strange, human. I saw your memories. You lost your family, yet you give advice on being a parent. I was a father once. That doesn't just go away. No, Suyen agreed. I suppose it does not. Taeyong appeared in the doorway. Jump drive is back online. We can make the jump to Helio Station in about 20 minutes. Helio Station? Suyin's spine flashed red. That is human military, also human civilian, and neutral territory. The Krillix can't just attack it without starting a war with humanity. Taeyong leaned against the bulkhead. Plus, I know the station commander. She owes me favors. How many favors? Jinwoo asked. Enough to get us docking clearance and maybe some supplies. After that, we're on our own. Suyin considered this. And you trust these humans? Trust is a strong word. But Commander Yunji is practical. She hates the Krillix more than she distrusts aliens. Taeyong shrugged. 3 months ago, they raided a civilian transport near her station. Killed everyone aboard. Women, children. She's been looking for a way to hit back ever since. We are not weapons for her war, Suyin said sharply. No, but you're proof. Proof that the Krillix are committing genocide. Proof that they're hunting children. Taeyong met her eyes. The galaxy needs to know what they're doing. Suyin looked at her sleeping children. The galaxy did not care when my world burned. Maybe not, Jinwoo said. But individual people might. Good people. People who would help if they knew. You have much faith in your species. Some of it, Jinwoo admitted. Not all. But enough. The jump was smooth. One moment they were in deep space. The next they emerged near Helios Station, a massive structure that orbited a small moon. Ships moved around it like insects around a hive. Taeyong opened a communication channel. Helios Station, this is the Light Runner requesting emergency docking clearance. Static. Then a woman's voice. Light Runner, you are not scheduled for docking. State the nature of your emergency. We have refugees aboard, including children. Requesting humanitarian assistance. More static. Longer this time. Light Runner, we're scanning your ship. You have 5 life signs. 2 human, 3 unknown. Explain. Taeyong looked at Jinwoo. This was the moment. Either humanity would help or they'd be turned away. Jinwoo leaned toward the comm. Commander Yunji, my name is Dr. Jinwoo Park. I'm a registered exobiologist. The unknown life signs are Shinra children. Refugees from the Krillix genocide. They need protection, silence. Then Shinra? We heard that species was extinct. Not yet, Jinwoo said. But the Krillix are trying to finish the job. These children and their mother are the last survivors we know of. And you're harboring them, why? Because it's the right thing to do. More silence. Jinwoo imagined the commander running scans, checking databases, weighing political implications against moral obligation. Finally, Light Runner, you are cleared for docking Bay 7. But be advised, your ship will be searched and all passengers will be interviewed. Any sign of deception and you're back in space. Understood? Understood, Taeyong said. Thank you, Commander. Don't thank me yet. The docking process was tense. Armed guards waited at the airlock. Medical personnel stood ready. And behind them all, Commander Yunji watched with sharp eyes. She was older than Jinwoo expected. 50s, maybe. Scars on her face from some past battle. Gray streaking through her black hair. But her eyes were kind. Tired but kind. Those eyes widened when Suyin stepped off the ship. The Shinra warrior was impressive in full light. 7 feet tall. Her spine structures catching and reflecting the station's lights into rainbow patterns. She carried the Starcrusher openly, making no attempt to hide what she was. The guards raised their weapons. Stand down, Yunji ordered. She approached Suyin slowly. I'm Commander Yunji, this is my station. Are those children yours? Yes. Suyin's voice was carefully controlled. Are they injured? Sick? Do they need medical attention? They are exhausted. They used power they are not ready for. They need warmth, rest, and safety. Yunji nodded. We can provide that. But I need to ask. That weapon you're carrying, what is it? It is called the Starcrusher. It is an ancient weapon of my people, and it is the reason the Krillix hunt us. Suyin's grip tightened on the staff. They want it. Want to study it. Want to replicate it, can they? The Krillix came 3 days later. Not with ships, not with soldiers. They were smarter than that. They came with diplomats and legal documents and threats wrapped in polite language. Ambassador Krell stood in Commander Yunji's office, his insectoid features unreadable behind a translation mask. We require the immediate surrender of the Shinra criminals. They're not criminals, Yunji said. They're refugees. They destroyed Krillix property, killed Krillix soldiers, stole classified technology. Krell gestured with multiple limbs. These are acts of war. Acts of self-defense, Jinwoo corrected. He stood beside Yunji along with Suyin and Taeyong. The children were safe in their quarters with Dr. Kwan. Your soldiers were hunting children, trying to harvest them like resources. Propaganda, Krell dismissed. The Shinra are extinct because they refuse to integrate into the Krillix dominion. Their extinction is tragic but not our fault. Liar, Suyin's voice was cold. The Starcrusher in her hands pulsed with barely contained power. I was there. I watched you butcher my people. Watched you tear the spines from living children while they screamed. Krell's mandibles clicked. You have no proof. I have memories. My children have memories. Thousands of Shinra refugees scattered across the galaxy have memories. Memories can be altered, fabricated. Krell turned back to Unji. Commander, we are willing to overlook your station's violation of the non-aggression treaty. If you surrender the refugees now, refuse and there will be consequences. What kind of consequences? Unji asked. Economic sanctions. Trade restrictions. Perhaps more. Krell leaned forward. Your human colonies are small, fragile. You cannot afford to antagonize the Krillix dominion over 4 aliens. Watch me, Yunji said. The room went silent. Krell's mandibles clicked faster. Anger or surprise, Jinwoo couldn't tell. You are making a mistake, Commander. Maybe, but it's my mistake to make. Yunji stood. This meeting is over. You have 1 hour to leave my station. You will regret this. I've regretted lots of things. This won't be one of them. Krell left. His delegation followed, their movements sharp with suppressed rage. When the door closed, Yunji sagged into her chair. Well, that's done. You just declared war on the Krillix dominion, Taeyong said. No, I just refused to be complicit in genocide. There's a difference. Yunji looked at Suyin. But he's right. They will retaliate. I need to know. If they attack this station, can you defend it? Suyin considered. The Starcrusher can destroy a fleet, but using it here would tear the station apart. Everyone would die, so that's not an option. I did not say that. I said it would kill everyone. I did not say I would not do it if necessary. Suyin's spine flickered red. But I prefer other options. Like what? Like leaving, taking my children far from here, sparing your station the consequences of helping us. No, Jinwoo said immediately. We don't abandon allies. She is not our ally. She is a human who made a foolish choice for strangers. She made a brave choice for children, Jinwoo corrected. There's nothing foolish about that. Yunji raised a hand. Can I make a suggestion? Instead of arguing about who's being noble, let's focus on practical solutions. We need allies, real ones, other colonies, other species, people who will stand with us against Krillix aggression. Who would help? Suyin asked bitterly. My people begged for aid. The galaxy watched us burn and did nothing. Because they didn't know, Taeyong said suddenly. Everyone turned to look at him. Think about it. The Krillix control information. They broadcast propaganda. They claimed the Shinra were extinct by natural causes. Most species probably believe them. So we tell the truth, Jinwoo said. We broadcast it. Show the galaxy what the Krillix really are. With what proof? Suyin demanded. With you. With your children. With your testimony. Jinwoo's mind was racing. Suyin, you said there are Shinra refugees scattered across the galaxy. What if we found them, gathered them, created a coalition of survivors who could tell their stories? Stories will not stop warships. No, but they might stop support for those warships. Yunji was nodding. The Krillix Dominion has trade partners, allies, species that provide resources and legitimacy. If those partners knew the truth, if they pulled their support, the Krillix would be isolated, Taeyong finished. Weakened. Suyin was quiet, thinking. It is a long plan. Difficult. It may not work. But it's better than running forever, Jinwoo said. Better than hiding. Better than waiting for them to find us. And what of my children? What of their safety while we execute this plan? They stay here, protected. Yunji looked firm. I meant what I said. As long as I command this station, they're under human protection. Suyin studied the commander, studied Jinwoo, studied Taeyong, 3 humans who had inexplicably chosen to stand with her. Very well, she said finally. We try your plan, but if it fails, if my children are threatened, I will use the Starcrusher. and I will not care who stands in my way. Fair enough, Yunji said. Over the next 2 weeks, their plan took shape. Taeyong used his network of smugglers and information brokers to locate Shinra refugees. There were more than anyone expected. Hundreds scattered across dozens of worlds. Hiding, surviving, hoping. Jinwoo worked with Yunji's communications team to craft a Kai message, simple, powerful, true. The testimony of a mother who fought for her children, of children who survived genocide, of a species that refused to be erased, and Suyin reached out through the deep connections of her people. The telepathic network that had once spanned her entire civilization. It was weak now, broken, but fragments remained, Shinra minds touching across the void, finding each other, sharing hope. I feel them, Hana said one evening. She sat with her mother and siblings, their spines glowing in synchronization. I feel other Shinra. Far away but alive. How many? Jinwoo asked. Hundreds, maybe thousands. Hana's eyes were distant. They are scared, but they are listening. The response was greater than they dared hope. Refugees began arriving. Some came in ships. Some were smuggled in by sympathetic aliens. Some simply appeared, teleported by Shinra who had mastered that ancient art. Helios Station became a haven, a gathering point, a symbol. The Krillix were not idle. They increased patrols, pressured trade partners, spread propaganda claiming the Shinra refugees were terrorists and criminals. But the truth was spreading faster than their lies. 6 weeks after Yunji's defiance, the breaking point came. A Krillix battle group appeared near Helios Station. 12 ships. Enough firepower to reduce the station to atoms. All hands to battle stations. Yunji's voice echoed through the corridors. This is not a drill. Jinwoo found the children in their quarters. Hana was calm. Minho was working on some device he'd built. Yuna was crying quietly. It's okay, Jinwoo said, holding her. We're going to be okay. I am scared, Appa. Me too. But we're together, and that makes us strong. Suyin entered, the Starcrusher in her hands. She looked at her children. At Jinwoo. I must fight. I know. If I use the weapon's full power, I will destroy this station. Everyone will die. Then don't use full power. I may not have a choice. Suyin knelt before her children. If I do not return, Jinwoo will care for you. He is a good father. Listen to him. No. Hana grabbed her mother's hand. We help. Like before, together. You are children. You should not fight. We are Shinra, Minho said. Fighting is not all we do. We connect, we unite. We make stronger together. Yuna wiped her tears. Please, Mama, let us help. Suyin looked at Jinwoo. He saw the conflict in her eyes. The warrior who wanted to protect her children by keeping them away from battle. The mother who knew her children were stronger when they worked together. It's their choice, Jinwoo said quietly. They're scared, but they want to help. Let them. Suyin closed her eyes. When she opened them, she nodded. Very well, but you stay inside. You connect from here. You do not expose yourselves to danger. The children agreed. On the command deck, Yunji faced the Krillix fleet. The station's defenses were online, but everyone knew they wouldn't last. They were outgunned, outmanned, outmatched. Commander? The Krillix fleet commander's voice crackled over the comm. Surrender the Shinra refugees or we will take them by force. Come and try, Yunji said. The first shot never came. Instead, something impossible happened. Ships began appearing. Human ships from nearby colonies, civilian transports, mining vessels, even military frigates that weren't supposed to be there. This is Captain G1 of the colony ship New Seoul, a voice announced. We stand with Helios Station. This is the mining guild Titan's Rest. We stand with the refugees. This is the human defense frigate Indomitable. We do not abandon those who seek protection. More voices. More ships. Not a fleet. Not organized. Just individual humans who had heard the story, who had seen the broadcasts, who had decided that standing up to genocide was worth the risk. There are over 40 human vessels here, Yunji's tactical officer reported, his voice shaking. They just came. Jinwoo watched from the observation deck, tears in his eyes. This was humanity. Messy, chaotic, individually weak. But together, united by something simple and powerful, the belief that children deserved protection. Would mean war, real war, not a border skirmish but full-scale conflict.